Hello, I am James Schroeder, and this is my internship presentation. For company strengths, my company was actually really amazing, and it was really a God thing that I got into there and I was able to intern there. They were really accepting. Like when I first started, they all greeted me with smiles and they were understanding because they knew that I didn't know how to do it because my first time interning there. It was my first time interning in an accounting firm, and they knew that, and it was really cool that they were understanding and they were patient with me, and they took the time to help me learn things. They're very passionate. Every single person loves what they do, and they just they just have such a burning passion for what they do, and they know that they can impact it in however that may look, whether it's taxes or auditing or yada yada yada. And they're really kind. They're happy and they're Christ centered. I think the kind happy goes with Christ centered. Um, they really strongly believe in faith. My boss is very faith oriented, and every time we'd eat at audits, every time we'd do anything that involved food or just gatherings, we would always pray before, no matter what the circumstances were, and that was just really cool and a really awesome strength that they had. Company weaknesses, their biggest one that I noticed was the lack of organization, and that was just because they moved into a new building recently, so they are remodeling the other side and trying to get that all ready so it's less crowded. And for auditing the schedule, my boss passed down the responsibility of planning all the audits and notifying the employees of when to be at certain places. And the lady that took over was really not organized at all. She had a lot on her plate and a lot going on, so she would forget and wouldn't tell us when to meet or where to go, and that was difficult. But I mean, other than that, they're a really strong firm, and it was a really great experience. When it comes to my strengths, when I looked internally, I saw independence because this job really required a lot of independence to go out and find answers for myself and not rely on my superiors to help me to know where things are or to guide me to where I need to go. And teamwork, I've really worked a lot in teams, and just I've learned to work with another person or other people in a way that is positive and um, that is growing. So um, just knowing how to help somebody, what you can do to help them, and just making it as time efficient as possible. And another one of my strengths is hardworking. It's something that my parents have taught me. They raised me to be hardworking, and it's just something that I don't take lightly. Like if I get a job, then I'm going to do it to the best of my ability, whether I like it or not, because I signed up for it. So one thing that I've always lived by is if you start it, you gotta finish it. And lastly, the last strength that I see is obedience to authority. Sometimes it's hard to submit and listen and do it with a loving heart, but we are called to do that. And so I've really just learned to embrace it because that's just life. Like people above you are meant to have authority over you, and the Bible says that we need to serve one another with a loving and joyful heart. So, my weaknesses, I think probably my biggest one is lack of energy, but that is definitely my fault because I am a night owl, so I stay up past midnight, 1 o'clock every night, and it really takes a toll on how I perform the next day, and just makes me tired and slow moving and no energy, and just not good, and it really affects me. Another weakness is activeness. I love to be active. I love to be doing something. So with accounting, just sitting down, it's difficult. But I also got to dip my feet into a little bit of outdoorsy type activity, or labor activity, and I would rather pick accounting over being outside or lifting heavy things forever. But my last weakness is thankfulness. I went into this internship and I was thankful, but I was thankful for the wrong reasons. And midway through, I just realized that like it was a total God thing that I was there, and just thankfulness. It was a weakness, but I could probably count it as a strength now because I found myself thinking more and more and more, and yeah. The biggest personal challenge was going from schoolwork to reality. It's a lot different when you're turning in a worksheet or a paper at a job, at an audit, than it is when you're turning in a piece of homework at school that you're going to get a grade for that's out of 10 points. It was a difficult transition and a lot more pressure to be doing something that is real life and something that could really have a big impact if I got it wrong. Outcome for my major, I learned how to prepare and enter journal entries. That was the main part with auditing this summer. I focused on receipt testing, expense analysis, revenue testing, and prepaid insurance. So I would go through and I would do all these tests, and then after I would have to enter what I found into the lead sheet that we'd have, and I just really learned how to enter the journal entries too in the computer, which was really nice because along with patience, my supervisor on site at audits really showed me patience and guided me and just let me work at it and improve my skills as we went instead of letting somebody else that might have been faster doing it. So that was really nice. Acquired skills. I think that when I'm looking back, I really am coming out with more courage and outgoingness. Coming in, I'm an outgoing person, but I don't tend to push myself that way. And if I don't have to be outgoing, I don't want to be outgoing. But just having to talk to people every day and new people every day, it just boosted my courage and my outgoingness and integrity. I learned that integrity is huge when it comes to work and just life. Like integrity can impact so many people's lives if it's not integrated into your life. Independence, just not having to be dependent on somebody else is really a good skill to have, especially in this line of work because you have a lot of individualism, and it's good to know when to be independent, but it's also good to know when to be dependent. And I didn't put dependent on here, but I think I should have added dependent and acquired skills because there's time to be independent, there's time to be dependent, and that is another big thing that I've learned this summer. Trust and kindness. For trust, you learn to trust people a lot more, and you find out that the more trust you put into people, the more you are able to rely on those people, the more trust is built up. And so that was something that I really learned because in the beginning I didn't really trust anybody because I didn't know anybody, but as we went along I kind of built that trust up. And for kindness, like just living your life joyful and kind has been so much better than having rough days or not wanting to do stuff because like every day I gotta put on a happy face whether I like it or not, and we have to be happy, we have to be kind, and we have to be respectful, and that's just really something that I'm leaving this summer with. In conclusion, just like learning, it was a big learning this summer. It was amazing. It was a great experience, and I'm so glad that I got the experience. And I really just can't wait to see where I'm going to go from this with all the new information I've learned. And yeah, that's it.